villages I've been in with poor children with cane poles, with electricity in their eyes, so happy to be staring into a beautiful stream, catching fish. And then I think about rich, wealthy, decadent children, totally confused, totally upset, running to and fro to play dates and events and different activities, desperately looking for fulfillment with their mothers and their fathers, desperately looking for fulfillment when fulfillment was already there in the secret place of the Most High. And that the whole world has now been built, even of old, the old temples, the old systems, the old art of the secret priesthoods, to suppress the fact that majesty and wonder and creation is all around us, and that we are fulfilled by simply breathing air into our lungs, and that we are now being put into a fully artificial cage, an artificial habitat, a giant electromagnetic gulag in the preparation for world mass extermination. And it's all public, it's all admitted. The NSA is on record spying on the general public. We're going to get to that when we come back.
Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
More than 60 movies and documentaries all in one place at Infowars.com/show.
I'm going to get into the giant new developments on the NSA front, actually, at the start of the next segment. I want to finish up with just the desperation of our decadent society. And we know where it's going 100%. It's historically a cycle, and we know exactly what's going to happen. And I want to break down just in generality what we're facing. And then coming up, exclusive Reuters reports, U.S. directs agents to cover up program used to investigate Americans for common crimes. And it goes on to say that marijuana, you name it, watering your lawn on the wrong day, the NSA gets all that and gives it to local government. Yeah, that's what the threat fusion centers are for. But then they play games and go, we don't spy, we just gather the data, and the computer makes the decision, so that makes it okay. Kind of like the family that Googled last week, the Italian family in Florida. No criminal record, just nice family. Googled pressure cooker, to order one. I've got a couple pressure cookers to cook things. I guess I'm a terrorist. And then separately, their kids were getting ready to go to school, so the next day they looked up backpacks. And so they got a SWAT team raid. And remember, the government runs Al-Qaeda on record. We're going to get to the whole fake terror alerts, all of it in the next segment. So some big news breaking right now. While the globalists, under international treaty, wire all the electronics so they can surveil and take control of them, and then go, oh my gosh, we need bigger government agencies to counter the hackers, because now they can hack your smartphone, hack your washing machine, hack your smart meter, hack your toilet. That's luxury toilet users warned of hardware flaw. The hackers may flood your house with them. This is such a sick joke, ladies and gentlemen. We are building the pit for our own destruction. By the way, I have an article out of Reuters again. They said there's an emergency with radioactivity spewing out of the 5 reactors that blew up in Japan. How many years are we into this now? 3 months into it, they caught yellowfin tuna and bluefin in the Pacific off the coast of California, so radioactive that just eating it is just guaranteed to take many years off your life. The government decided to not tell you, but it came out a year after boy, let me tell you, alarms go off in Southern California on the reactors now. What's their answer? They turn the alarms off. 91% of global reactors, of 425 or whatever it is, are leaking. Uranium, plutonium, everything else, ladies and gentlemen, to the point now they're just like, you know what? We're going to let them leak. Don't worry about it. It's like a science fiction movie, like there's space aliens that live in a radioactive environment and want to radiate us. I mean, it's like you got to think of some reason they do that. But no, they just have a death wish. It's what psychopaths always do in history. They just want to get caught. They want to hurt themselves. Their own hardwiring, even though they're consciously and spiritually a psychopath, still the humanity in them wants to destroy them. And so they manifest it, so they want to destroy themselves, with us, of course, along with them. And that's what I wanted to get to. People are freaked out by the fact that they're only alive once. They're totally freaked out by the fact that they were born and they're living and then they'll die and they're on a planet where they, dig up all these bones of woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and mastodons and 20-foot sloths. That was just 10,000 years ago, they think. And then you go back before that, there's all these dinosaurs and plesiosaurs and 50-foot long great white megalodon sharks, and there's a big moon orbiting, and rainstorms come by and lightning, and just there's insects everywhere and bacteria. I mean, we are living I just walk around marveling at an antbed or at birds or at the sky or at my children or at just literature, classical music. It's just every day's a blessing. Every day's a banquet. Every day is just an over-the-top hallucination of reality. Reality is an hallucination of consciousness. What do you call an hallucination? That's when your mind, when you have a fever or whatever the case is, distorts what it's seeing. But I mean, what do you call reality? When you think about reality, when you think about the nature of it, when you think about what you could build and do, they call that an hallucination. No, they call that thought. And so deep down, everybody knows that they are in the middle of just an incredibly heavy event. And they sense that the establishment's gone insane and does not have their best interest at heart. And now they know the system's lying to them. So it's like a giant spacewalk or standing at the edge of a cliff. And then people are running towards all the baubles and all the fame and all the ego stuff, thinking that is something they can cling to. When it's not. You've got to just turn loose in the sea of reality. And then you will dwell in the secret place of the Most High. Then you will suddenly realize there's something else there. It's God.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the InfoWars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones Radio Show live as it happened.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.
Why do we have the name Prison Planet? Well, that's what's being constructed. And that's not my opinion. When I get up here and I talk about world government being established for forced population reduction of 80 to 99%, depending on which globalist policy report you read, that is not my opinion. That is on record. When I say the establishment plans to basically end the family, that is on record as well. And I've made films. We've had countless guests on. When you hear the radical things we talk about here on the broadcast, you need to understand that almost in every case, over 90% of the time, it's something that's already admitted on record. I know it freaked out one of my reporters last week. I said, go look up these notes, pull these articles, since you've already done a report on this, and pull up DynCorp Halliburton, child kidnapping rings, DynCorp running the CPS in most states, CPS having convicted pedophiles as their directors in states like Florida and other states in the past. Look up snuff films connected to it. And then about a day later, she was real freaked out by it and said, oh, my God, there's thousands of articles about this. The UN's involved. It's horrible. The government's evil. And I'm like, yes, they're evil. I know. And I think about all the people crying out in the darkness, crying out in bondage, all the women, all the children, all the innocents, crying out to God or just crying out saying, somebody help me. And all these big churches just say, you come here, you pray, you give us money, you do what the government says, You don't make waves. That's how you help the innocent. And the abortion continues, and now the infanticide and the euthanasia of old people, and the television has taken over our culture, and society is breaking down, and decadence is just skyrocketing. And I prayed to God to protect me from the evil this morning and from the insanity that's going to be poured out on the people. I mean, I can intellectually look at everything that's happening and historically where it goes and the cycles of humans, the cycles of decadence that are as accurate as an atomic clock or as the sun coming up in the east and setting in the west. It is absolute fact that we are going to enter into something that looks like a high-tech blending of every tyranny, every oppression, every nightmare system the world's ever seen, with every psychopathic control freak demon, with whatever their flavor of enjoyment is, turned loose on the face of this earth. And I'm just desperately trying to get people ready. I've been trying to hold it back, but I really have come to the realization it is not going to be held back. All we can do is individually try to get ready for it and try to warn others so that if they have eyes to see, ears to hear, they can be warned. And I'm very sad for people. I'm very, very sad for all the tough guy wannabes and all the crazy brave and all the trendies and everybody else. I've just come to the realization that I'm not going to be able to help most people. They're going to put cancer viruses in your children. They're going to kill them early. They're going to put poison in the water. We're probably not going to get that out. They're going to spray our atmosphere and get rid of the ozone layer for whatever reason they're doing it. They already detonated over 100 hydrogen bombs in the upper atmosphere trying to ignite it. Our own government did that. They even have Discovery Channel shows about it with William Shatner. And they'll probably just go ahead and have more reactors melt down, and they'll plant GMO everywhere, and it'll go from a 3,000% increase in cancer to a 10,000% increase like it is already in children. Everybody will just start dying, and that's what everybody wants, and that's what everybody's going to get. So I'm more concerned about the soul of people as I realize that the flesh being attacked is only a symptom of the larger disease. And at a certain point, you just got to put the information out and turn loose. Because I realize fighting with